the blessing of marriage and how we undermine it. Among the blessings of Allah upon the children of Adam is that He has legislated marriage for them and made it a means for achieving many religious and worldly benefits. Unfortunately, many of us do not appreciate this important relationship and do not value it as it should be valued. Undermining the institution of marriage take different forms. These include not being careful when choosing one's spouse. In this way, one acts against the direction of the Sharia, which are aimed at ensuring that marriage achieves its hoped objectives of being a source of peace and tranquility for both husband and wife and a means to obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Undermining the relationship of marriage includes lack of knowledge and practice with regard to the rights which are due to each partner. This is one of the main reasons that causes problems between spouses. Islam has stated very clearly these rights and obliged both partners to fulfill them. Allah says in the Quran, "And they, women, have rights over their husbands, similar to those of their husbands over them, to what is reasonable, but men have a degree of responsibility over them." This verse indicates that for every right that one partner has, there is a corresponding duty which the other partner must fulfill. In this way, balance is achieved in the relationship. Among the rights which are due to both husband and wife are: both spouses should turn a blind eye to the minor faults and mistakes of the other partner, especially words and deeds by which nothing bad was intended. None of them should count the other's mistakes or follow every matter, big or small. Both husband and wife must be patient and put up with each other, for everyone has or his slips. Neither party should resort to tit-tat for response. If one spouse sees that the other is angry, he or she should restrain his or her own anger and not respond immediately. Abu Addad, the companion of the Prophet ﷺ, said to his wife, "If you see me angry, calm me down, and if I see you angry, I will calm you down. Otherwise we would not be able to live together." The husband must know that his responsibility in keeping the family together is greater because he is the one who is in charge of the family, so he must be patient and tolerate the natural weakness in his woman. The husband should not hate his wife if he dislikes one of her characteristics, because he dislikes something in her, he will like another. The Prophet ﷺ said, "No behaving man should hate a believing woman. No believing man should hate a believing woman. If he dislikes one of her characteristics, he will be pleased with another." One of the things which worsen the relationship between husband and wife and may lead to eventual breakdown of the marriage is a husband resort to beating his wife using his physical strength. Some husbands might argue that they have the right to beat their wives because Allah SWT has permitted it and has allowed them to do so. However, these husbands do not realize that this is way only permitted as a measure of reform in the cases of wives' ill conduct. When she rebels against her husband and becomes completely disobedient to him, in this case the husband has the right to discipline her as prescribed by the Sharia. According to the Quran, this discipline must take step-by-step approach which may reach the level of hitting with certain conditions. So this discipline was legislated as a last cure for the corruption in the relationship between husband and wife. No husband may resort to it in ordinary disputes in order to subdue his wife. Allah says in the Quran, As to those women on whose part you see ill conduct, admonish them. Next, refuse to share their beds, then beat them lightly." According to this verse, Allah has made this discipline in stages as follows: admonishing the wife gently and reminding her of her duty to be a good companion and treat her husband properly. If kind admonishing works, then that is all good. If it does not work, then the discipline is taken to the next stage, which is forsaking her by turning his back on her in bed or sleeping in a separated bed. Then finally hitting her in a manner that is not painful, and that is the last stage of discipline. The Muslim must know that those who hit their wives are not amongst the good Muslims. Rasulullah said, do not hate the female servant of Allah. Umar came to him and said, women have rebelled against their husbands, so the Prophet ﷺ permitted the men to discipline their wives. Then many women came to the Prophet complaining against their husbands. Thereupon the Prophet said, many women came to house of Muhammad complaining about their husband. Those of you who hated their wives are not of the best of you. Another example of undermining the blessing of marriage is the misuse of divorce. This is a very common problem. There is evidence that many people who were having disputes with their wives, and during their anger they divorced their wives. Later they become regretful for what they did. This is something which us repeatedly quite often, used by many people quite often by some hasty Muslim husbands who are ignorant of the rules of divorce in Islam. May Allah forgive them and us. Divorce is very undesirable in Islam due to the problems it causes. It should be looked at as a last resort or last treatment for a chronic problem which no other treatment succeeded to resolve. If this is the case and it has become impossible the husband and wife live together peacefully and in harmony, and the husband has decided finally to divorce, he should not do so in a rush but carefully in accordance with the rules of Sharia. These rules regard that the following must be observed in divorce. Divorce must be done when the wife is tahir or pure, i.e. not during her menstrual cycle or postnatal period after birth. If the husband has slept with his wife during her pure period, he must wait until her period comes and she becomes pure again before he can divorce. He should divorce her once, not 3 times in one go or 3 times in the same meeting. The divorce should be witnessed by 2 people. The purpose of these conditions is to ensure that divorce is carried out after careful consideration of the matter, not hastily in a moment of anger. It is forbidden to divorce otherwise not observing these conditions. There are also some husbands who use the words of divorce as an oath and so on, and one of them would say to his wife, if you do not do so and so, then you are divorced. This is completely forbidden in the Sharia. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us of those who understand the blessing of marriage and act upon good ethics and good conduct with their spouses, and make us of those who are tearful of each other's eyes, who are dutiful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and who are very attending to each other's needs. Ameen.